redesign some of the most horrific icons in entertainment from both the past and the present. Joining me today are introduce yourselves because I hate doing it. Whoever wants to go first, I don't care. Say again one more time, Kanji. You're a little bit low. Storyboards and commercials. Okay, right on. All right. Well, today's subject matter we are discussing Spawn and the movie Spawn. Um, we're going to try to structure the show a little bit different today, with a series of questions about the character, and then we'll kind of pepper in everybody's creations as the show progresses. Yeah, that's Spawn. There he is on Kanji's screen. So here's a question for you guys. Here we. Is it me or is someone saying is it me or I can only hear the host? Uh-oh. Let's see. It might be. Let's see if we got some issues. Someone say something. Say something. Oh, that is an issue. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you can only hear me. Okay, that's not good. Okay, let me fix it. Oh, see, always technical issues. Uh, let's see here. I'm fixing it right now. Hopefully, someone say something. Testing.
So,
Hello,
Can you guys hear him?
hello, talk. Hello, hello, hello.
Violator.
hello.
Can,
Wanda.
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 all right, in the chat, can you guys hear us now? Everybody, not just me, because I don't want to just be talking to myself. I think you can hear me.
There might be a delay, so it might
No,
take him a second.
no, it's not a delay. It was with my recording. But anyway, let's introduce
Oh,
ourselves. Here, I'll do it again. I'll do it. Okay, so everybody's a concept artist, illustrator here. We got CG Allen Marsh, Amir Alam. He's
hello.
also Ivan Pi or P. Ivan P.
B,
P.
B,
P.
B,
As with
like,
a P, as
yeah,
in Patrick or
like you
para
want to do it.
or parallel. Um,
Yes.
we got Kanji Man. Do you want you to use your real name or you want to?
No, I like to keep things mysterious.
Okay, he's mysterious Kanji Man. He does commercial storyboards and what was the other thing?
Illustrations.
And illustrations. We got James Star King. There's two Jameses today. He's also a concept artist illustrator. We will call him Star King because that is a really cool last name, and I'm that's pretty awesome. Uh,
Pretty
and
dark and
me
cool.
and me, James, in the art world known as J.R. Coffrin. So, all right, cool. Thanks for letting us know in the chat about the weird audio issue. All right, so like I said before, we're gonna start our show in a little bit different format. Uh, let's start with a question. Okay, what does spawn mean to you? That's I mean, it's a broad question, but try to
Hmm.
answer it.
Hmm.
To me, Spawn, he he is all that is dark, mysterious, deep feelings of rage and like self-pity, but also kind of clinging on to your humanity despite all of that. And there's a reason why he hangs out with homeless people a lot because they know that shit better than a lot of us do, you know?
Oh
So,
wow, yeah,
what it means to me.
yeah, that's a connection I didn't get before. That makes sense. Well, you're also a big fan too, so you followed Spawn for a long time. I haven't been a
Mhm.
fan, but I always appreciated the aesthetics of the character, but like the chains and the darkness and like he's kind of demonic and all that kind of stuff. But uh, prior to the show, I did research on his story arc, and yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty astute observation.
Thank you.
How, how about the rest of you?
Well, I mean, for me, he's obviously something I remember quite fondly from my childhood, like the comics especially.
Like, okay, so when did you first hear about when did you first hear about Spawn, and under what circumstances were you in? What, Ivan?
Well, I can't remember like the exact age, but what I do remember is that I mean, Todd McFarlane was what got me into drawing as a kid because I was a huge fan of his Spider-Man comics, and then eventually I found out he'd like started his own imprint and had his own character, and used to read those for a while when I was younger. So it's always been something I've kind of had some appreciation for.
Yeah, I think I remember. I remember. I never really read comics, but I collected them for their art, and
Yeah,
I got a couple Spawn comics just because the grittiness of the character was just so appealing. I don't remember anything out there like at the time that was like kind of delving into like that was that quite that dark. Like there was a couple other ones, but not quite uh not quite on that level. I don't think. At least in my limited knowledge of comic books. Maybe there was a ton, but you know. So CJ, what does Spawn mean to you?
So Spawn to me was kind of like my first introduction to like the dark, gritty, like badassness of what comic books were, or like what they could have been. And like when I was a kid, I remember me when you're a kid, you always have those arguments of like who could beat who up in a fight. Like there's always the Spider-Man could always beat up the Hulk or blah blah blah. Just those kind of arguments.
Hmm.
But Spawn was kind of like, I remember the first time I ever heard about Spawn was a kid was really really into it, and he told me about who he was and like what he did, and he was like, yeah, he's like a guy from hell, and he like fights stuff, and like as like a 8-10 year old kid, you're just like, what? Let's dig a little deeper into this thing. So I picked up a few Spawn comics and just kind of like got really into the whole like the black with the chains and the skulls everywhere, and I just thought like this is kind of what I think comic books should be, and like what a comic book hero should be, rather than like the guy running around in like spandex or something like that. And I don't know, it was like the whole aesthetic was like really something that kind of grabbed me, and I kind of started to realize that characters didn't have to be like a single dimensional good guy of, oh yeah, we fight crime and we turn in the bad guy to the police at the end. No, sometimes I just rip their face off, kind of thing is what Spawn does. And I always thought that was like really badass and cool.
Yeah, anti-heroes and gray characters are the best in my opinion, because like everybody's got some kind of struggle they're dealing with. You know, I think no matter where
Mhm.
what angle you're approaching life at. So I think they're the most identifiable. How about you, Ivan? What does Spawn mean to you?
Mm, well, it's a story about second chance, most of all, I guess, and about redemption for a soul of a sinner. Like he tries his best and he gets the chance to get his family back, but he doesn't. He's not getting anything back at first. That's the problem. That he's not the same person anymore, and nobody wants to see him.
Yeah, that's great foundation for a story arc, I think.
Yeah,
Like you basically have to start your life over. It's like a
yeah. It's like
really shitty divorce where the wife gets everything.
exactly.
there's a really cool thing in the early issues of the comics where he can use up some of his power to like transform into a normal looking human. but he
Mhm.
can't transform into himself. He's like this blonde-haired white guy.
Yeah, I think it's not even like his body or something. Like it doesn't belong to him. Like the armor and everything, the shroud, and it's not his.
Yeah, there's a great panel in that comic where he's like, "No, I'm supposed to be a black man."
Yes.
Yeah, so he never gets to feel like who he is anymore. He just has to become this brand new thing no matter what. And so he has to embrace this change, which I think a lot of people uh, generally have to struggle with, is embracing some kind of change in their life. That's like one of the hardest things to do in your life, and it's also the most important thing to do, is to embrace change. So it's an interesting connection. Like I think that's why, another reason why Spawn has been so successful. Like people really identify with that. How about you, Star King? Like, what does Spawn mean to you?
Uh, well, growing up, I really liked. I liked, the dark hero and the grit, just like everybody else. But more than anything, I just really liked his design, because I love the drama, just the cape. The cape was everything to me when I was a kid. And the glowing green eyes, like in the dark, stuff like that. Uh, and he was black, So
Yeah.
growing
Oh,
up, I thought that was really
yeah.
cool,
Yeah. Fuck
So
yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, that
he's
helps.
always had a special place in my heart.
Yeah, for sure. And you do a lot of gritty art yourself, so like, or maybe I don't know. Did Spawn have any part in your uh like influence to do like dark and gritty art?
I think so. He was probably the first uh, comic book character or series, I guess, that was so dark and gritty, and I think that did, it definitely influenced my art. Like I always tried to emulate, the style in there when I was a little kid, So
Mm,
I think so.
yeah, awesome. Well,
Actually, I have a good story about how I saw the movie. Actually, and it was at my classmate's house. I've been asking him to give me like a tape to watch. Like, you have any cool movies, man? And he's like, here, I have this. Oh, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's like Spider Man. You like Spider Man? And there's like a part when he's like climbing the building. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like Spider Man, man, so cool. Yeah, but it's not Spider Man. When it's like I read the comic and then I watched the TV show, the animated TV show. It's like, nah, it's Spider Man. It's like it's even cooler than Spider Man.
That's
the,
cool.
the design itself kind of looks like it was inspired by it, though. Like, especially if you look like
Yeah.
at some of his early, like real early when he was a kid, like renditions of it. It looks like Spider-Man with a cape, basically. So obviously, he's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
fan. He used to do work. Todd McFarlane used to do work. He used to work on the Spider-Man comic book. So I mean, maybe that was a dream first to work on that, and then he was like, you know, I don't know if anyone knows the story with how he kind of moved into Image Comics and Spawn and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know the full story. I just know little.
Well, when he was at Marvel, he co-created Venom. He was responsible for the Venom design, the look of it, and there's kind of like some prototypical elements of Spawn in that, I think, with like the living costume and the like exposed mouth and all that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so some definite heavy influence. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, the more modern design I think has started even taking a little bit of like brought a little bit more Venom elements into him. The most recent one, I should say, because he's got like a toothy like smile now on the newer Spawn.
Yeah, you get, oh,
Oh, actually, like on the outside of the mask, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
yeah, like opens up like he doesn't even have like a human face underneath. That's how it opens up. So, um, you guys ready to? You guys want to? Those of you in the chat, you guys want to see a couple concepts? You guys really want to scope some stuff? Let's 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 start with you, CJ.
All right. We'll get the bad one out of the way.
Oh, please.
Uh, all
Don't be so
right.
harsh.
I'm
Hold
sure it
on. I
was
gotta
great.
remember how to share screen here again. Wait, where's the share screen?
Oh, really?
Adrian Blom in the chat
Bottom left.
says Spawn and Ghost Rider are basically the same tragic character. Are they?
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah, kind of
I'll
what
similar.
fight you.
bastard beast the real champ? Is that one of you guys or is that someone in the chat? They said
Oh, they both
Go-
enjoy hell.
Ghost Rider is like the Christian Network version.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking
Is
about.
that true? Ghost Rider looks pretty metal. I mean, like he's got the chains and he's got like the flaming
There we go.
head and all that. All right.
Cold
Oh,
sword,
there
his
we
sword
go.
to the
Okay,
tail thing.
there we go.
Well, you don't like that? That's cool, dude.
That is so cool.
Hey,
Very
I had the
cool.
sword
Very
too in
cool.
the
So,
first version.
all right. So the idea behind this was I don't know if any of you guys have like seen some of the like other different iterations of Spawn throughout the ages and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I really got hooked onto the medieval Spawn
Mm.
character, and I really wanted to like convey something like that. And I kind of thought through watching the movie, what would be kind of cool is the basically like what if he became the actual general of hell that he was supposed to become, and like just took on like his own suit of armor and kind of became this medieval knight of hell essentially.
Hmm.
That's dope. That's probably how Cagliostro looked back
Oh,
in the day
oh
when he
yeah,
was at
yeah.
Spawn. Yeah.
Did they ever dive into Cagliostro, like what he looked like when he was a Spawn?
Shoot, I don't remember. Do you
No,
remember
That's
he's anything of that,
that's that
Kanji?
that's a
And
he's a very different character in the
it
comics.
was in the TV show when they spoke about his history.
oh that could be
Yeah,
a redesign project for the future. Bastard
Yeah.
Beast, the real champ, says looks like Warcraft. Yeah, I could see that little. He's got the big pauldrons a little bit. Alicia Abandamations. Did I do that right? Says she loves to shine. To shine. She likes to shine.
Mhm.
I think that might be German. I don't know. To shine. So CJ, what do you really like about your design? Are you there?
Looks like he muted his
Are
microphone.
you're muted, CJ? I think.
Oh, there we go. Sorry,
Welcome
I
back.
hit a wrong button. Okay, so my favorite part is probably the part that I wanted to spend more time on, which is the cape. Because I always like the idea of like the cape being kind of this living thing on its own. And I we had a recent trailer that dropped about what was it, a few days ago now?
Diablo.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I was thinking when I saw it. I'm like, but that's not a bad idea.
No, I know. Like the hell of it was is I started sketching this idea out, and then that trailer dropped, and I was like, son of a bitch. So I was like, you fuckers did it so much cooler than I did. And I was like, okay, we'll just run with it. Um, but yeah,
So those of you that haven't seen the trailer, he's talking about the Diablo 4 trailer. In the trailer, there's a reveal of a demonic type character that kind of pushes through some skin membrane veil that I don't know. It just looks badass. You guys have to check it out. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, check
Kind
out
of
that Diablo.
becomes
Look up Diablo 4 cinematics, and you're gonna be uh, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be a happy person
it
after you watch that.
yeah, it's
kind
pretty
of
cool.
becomes like a massive cape or robe at the end of that cinematic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Hmm. Yeah, Yeah, so yeah, I really like the idea of like just like the living cape and just like this whole like living membrane kind of thing, like the skin cape.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I dig it. The skin cape's a good idea. Like maybe it's like a little bit less flowy, like but like reacts a little bit different. Do you see it reacting a little differently than say like the spawn we all know?
Probably. Like I feel it's. I mean, it kind of comes uh back around to when we did the thing. I kind of imagine that's kind of how his like membrane works, is kind of like a fleshy creature of some kind. Like the claws. I put like the little teeth or claws on the end of it as kind of like a thought of maybe when he's like using and fighting around and stuff like that, the cape like reaches out and like grabs them and then like engulfs the person and then just like consumes them or something like that.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Like how do you see it consuming them? Like do they like kind of just fall into like some kind of like void like within the cape? It like wraps them and then they kind of disappear like that they do like disappearing magic tricks where they have something underneath like a cloth and then they move the cloth and it's gone kind of thing. Or
I
like an
think
or is it more like Beastmaster where it hugs them and they turn to bones and stuff?
that's kind of what I thought, but more instead of like bones, just like turn them into like a human smoothie or something like that. Just like
Okay.
squeeze them and like the whole thing's like a giant muscle or something like that, and then it engulfs the person, and then just like completely squeezes them until they're just jelly.
Okay, I dig it. I dig
That's
it.
so cool.
So,
Yeah, I can get behind that.
what do you dislike about your design?
Uh,
How do you, or rather,
I
how do you think it could have been improved? Maybe, you know.
well, my full intention was I wanted to do a full like illustrative piece with this thing, but I couldn't settle on. My problem that I had with this one was kind of the opposite problem I had with the thing, which was I had too many ideas going on about this on what I wanted to do. So I was like, I just got to settle on something. So I settled on just doing a kind of hero pose kind of thing and just saying, calling it good. So I actually have fully every intention to take this into an actual full illustrated piece, I think, next.
Right on, right on. That's so. You just fell short, like not wanting to go as far as you wanted, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, right on, man. It looks good. Turned
Thank
out
you.
good. It's I think one of your best ones yet. I think looks really
Can
Thanks,
you
nice.
man.
do me a favor and zoom in on the face? It looks so cool. I just want to see the mouth. Yo, let's go.
So
That's
even
so awesome.
so even the mouth is kind of reminiscent of like a medieval type like face mask, right? Kind of. No?
Oh, he is muted again.
Are you muted, CJ? Quit muting yourself. It's not funny.
I don't know how it keeps muting myself. I don't touch it.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, no, I wanted to kind of go for like that medieval mask, almost kind of like drippy face kind of thing.
nice.
Nice, man. Nice work. I dig it.
Thank you.
uh,
Thank you.
so like the hooks and stuff, obviously Spawn's cape didn't have like demonic type hooks in it. They just kind of
Hmm.
uh, like what's your idea with how with the functionality of those?
Oh, the
Just
hooks on the cape. I I thought more of like so like when I was kind of going through this process, like I said, the idea was like he became that true knight of hell and like succumbed to what was that demon's name? Melbolgia, and like became the leader of the Hell's army that he wanted to become. And I always just kind of pictured like maybe his cape started to manifest more into like a creature in itself, and like he was becoming part of this whole thing. Honestly, it was just a cool factor thing that I threw in there.
You know, it'd be cool. Like a really cool aesthetic would be like if his cape would come off and go attack people, and then come back and get stuck back on his back,
Oh, that'd be cool.
like he's attacking, and then it's kind of like almost turns into two entities.
Yeah, like flies off, snatches somebody, and like pulls back.
Yeah,
And
digests
doing
him really fast, then pulls back onto his
Yeah.
back, and he like flies up. Oh, dude, that's sick. That's a
Are,
good.
are, are we talking about Terminator Dark Fate Spawn right now? Because that would be so dope.
I don't
have you
know.
seen, guys, the movie Blob? Okay, that's how the cape should kill. Like,
Yeah,
Ooh, that'd be good.
It's been a
that would
while
be
since I've
good.
seen the Blob. Real long
like
while.
devour the flesh and like.
Bastard Beast, the real chimp, says it's like a dark elf mask from Warhammer. I don't know what a dark elf mask looks like, but maybe, it's possible. Cool, man. Well, cool design. Dig it. Looks real nice. Um, let's check out some other designs. What do you guys say?
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
brave enough?
Who's
Who's
brave?
brave?
Who's brave? Well, let's just keep on going. We'll go clockwise, and then we'll actually first, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 accordingly. So, Amir, كيف حالك?
Alhamdulillah, wa inta? Alhamdulillah. Well, okay. I can do mine. Mine would actually. Yeah, okay. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Bow.
Wow.
Y'all can see it all right?
Kind of, kind of. It's very light
Need
gray.
to zoom in a bit. It's kind of gray.
Oh wait, it's clearing up. Oh wait,
Yeah.
that helps. I don't know what
There
happened
you go.
there.
Opacity.
Okay.
Well, this is my picture. Hope you liked it. All right, moving on. No, I'm joking. So this was
I did this with my left hand with crayons, and
I did this in a fever dream after being like happy drunk after watching the movie because it was so good.
then you were like on mushrooms too. Like it was
You
just
actually really enjoyed it. The movie.
Oh, dude, I had a blast. I used
Yeah.
perspective and everything. Look at these perspective lines. You know,
Gee.
even.
You must be proud.
So what's it called? Yeah, it was just a sketch. I was going in trying to figure out what design. I know early on that I wanted to do a halfway point in between uh, what the movie Spawn was and what the comic books were, and just really like the most badass version of Spawn that I always wanted to draw as a kid. You know, so
mm,
that's kind of where I wanted to go with it, and I ended up kind of getting what I wanted by the end. So yeah, so let's jump in. Oh no, not that one yet.
ooh, that's
I got
cool.
Ooh,
I like that little splash, so that occlusion thing, whatever you're doing. That's pretty sexy, man. But
Alright, so we're not there yet.
all right, I can't wait.
um,
It's gonna be cool.
yeah, so pose ideation. I started out with this, and I was like, nah, he looks like he's
Looks,
a lost Tinkerbell,
yeah, little Tinkerbelly.
right? Right.
Mm,
Tinkerbell with the parking boot on. um, and then
Yeah.
I thought I wanted him to have a huge gun. That would have been really cool. Like just a disproportionately large gun. And I kind of wish I did that now that I'm thinking back to it, but moving on. I ended up finding the pose here in my third pose iteration where I was like,
Mm.
yeah, that's kind of what I want to draw.
some power walking. I
Uh,
dig it.
yeah,
Kind of sexual.
Yeah, very.
yeah, just a
I, s-
little,
I
little
see his
hip twist.
hips sway. Yeah, I see it.
it's got sass.
Yeah, sassy
He's
spawn.
got some sass. Yeah, for sure.
No,
Wanda.
there's a scene in the movie where he's like sad.
I, I,
Yeah,
I don't see his duck lips yet. I guess that's in the next version. Let's see it.
yeah. So yeah, then let's see what I did here. Oh yeah, then I changed the pose up a little bit, gave him a little bit more mass, length, and dimension. Uh, yeah, and weirdly enough, I think I subconsciously turned him into I gave him like a Brian body type from Tekken because I've been playing a lot of Tekken.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was weird. But yeah, I didn't really look at as much reference as I wanted to.
Well, that's all
Let's
right.
see.
So, does your final design feature
I
oiled
did the same.
snakeskin trousers?
I need to. It's hell snake trousers.
Snake.
Oh, I like the zombie skin he had going on right there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Started adding that in, completing the line work, just jumping in and tracing all that gunk with the construction. Um, yeah, and then after I got all of it done, yeah, this was almost done. I don't really have an intermediary step between that and my other spawn, but yeah, that's about how it looked like before I started coloring it in. Um, and then I decided to
Mhm.
go in and do an ambient occlusion
Oh,
process just
that's fun.
because.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever effect
yeah,
that does, that's fucking cool. Makes me want to try it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I spent so long on making sure the line work was right that I really didn't have time to go straight into color. So I
Well,
just kind of like high render load, 4 days left. All right, we're gonna do ambient occlusion. We're gonna get this stuff done. You know?
uh,
Yeah.
no,
So,
that's cool,
oh,
man.
I keep interrupting. Sorry.
No, no, you're good. I'm the guy. You go. Your
Oh, okay.
showtime for you.
All right. It's my time to shine. Um. All right. Then I finished up the values.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. And then I colored it, and bada bing, bada boom. We
Here,
got ourselves.
let the screen catch up a little bit because right now it's trying to like focus, or rather the latency, like every time you move it a little bit, like but that cape is juicy, dude.
Juicy.
Hmm.
Yeah, real juicy.
Oh man.
Now why not?
Yeah, it looks like,
Flashly.
yeah, it looks like you really last time you did the thing, and you had that really cool texture that was going on with the folds on like the top of the arm. It looks like you really figured that
Hmm.
out and are applying that to this as well. Looks really nice, man.
Yeah. Honestly, in retrospect, this show was pretty fucking great for me as like in terms of development as an artist because I had deadlines, I had a goal, I had creative liberty, and I just I didn't have time to mull over my mistakes like I normally do. So everything just started coming together, you know?
Hmm.
And I really thank you for that. This whole opportunity. It's like a good challenge.
Yeah, for sure, man. Of course, yeah. I think it's the same for me too. Like I think it's the same for all of us. Like
Yeah.
each time, like you have your creative liberty, and it seems like the more input you get from other people, the worse it gets. So like literally, you don't have time to do any of that or anything. Like you just kind of do your thing, and then make a couple mistakes, and have a couple wins, and on to the next show, and things just keep on getting better.
Yeah, yeah, and like this is such a like also just to kind of talk about myself for a little bit, be a little bit selfish, but
No, you're on. You're on.
yeah, this is like just such a good like push for me to even just like go into the industry and finally get a job because I'm growing so much from this that I can only dream of like, wow, if I had like direction and goals and set schedules, I can really just pull everything together and be the artist that I've always wanted. So yeah, this piece just helped me grow a lot, in this show has as well. So, yeah, I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, I'd say it's your best yet. It's great, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. That cape, those like all those folds and curves, like you got like cloth down, dude.
yeah, boy. Thanks. It's a lot of
Yeah,
construction.
yeah, you're definitely making some breakthroughs. Alicia Abandonation. I always, well, let's just call her Alicia. Alicia in the chat. This is the lighting's beautiful. Adrian
And
Blom says cool, and we got some a heart emoji from yourself. because you like
Uh,
you saw those comments already.
hey, we got to give them the shout outs. We love them.
Yeah, man, but bitch and work. Now, okay, so what did you particularly like about this design? Like
I'll
your
show you
your
right.
favorite part?
I'll show you right now my favorite part.
Surprise.
That tooth gap.
Yeah.
Yo, yo, that's so tight.
Well, I like
you
that
get
too.
you got the Michael Jai in there, yeah. You,
Oh yeah.
you couldn't resist.
Oh, it's fucking rotten.
You know, fuck Jamie Foxx, get him out of there. Bring Jai back.
Exactly. Michael Jai White is Black Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, exactly. That's what I thought when I was like a fucking child.
Yeah,
Yo, for real.
and he could fight. So yeah, like actually
Oh
fight. Like I said,
god.
he,
Actually
yeah,
fighting,
he's an
yeah.
actual martial artist. Like, he's like an actual
He's an actual
superhero kind of.
fighter.
Yeah, dude. In the movie, he's like spinning back kick that Sheen guy, or was it Sheen or was it
Yeah, machine.
Violator? It was Sheen. He spinning back kicked him in full like spawn suit and just like did a pose.
Yeah, Amir and I were watching the film earlier before this stream, and like one thing we both said is it's a shame they didn't make more use of Michael Jai White's martial art abilities for the
Yeah, for
film.
sure. They
Because
kind
of
of
the makeup.
leaned on the worst thing possible is everybody's acting. It was like if you're if because everybody's act like even like Martin Sheen, he's been in some wonderful movies, right? He's been in some
Hmm.
fantastic like I think
Well,
was he in Apocalypse Now and all that
he
stuff
was
like
in Apocalypse
Oh
Now,
yeah.
yes.
like and didn't he do like a bang up job, right? If I remember correctly. But
Yeah, his performance in that film is amazing.
okay, and then let's fast forward to Spawn. What the fuck was going on with him? Like it's
I
like he had a
remember,
stroke and then decided to go act again. Like I don't understand what happened.
I do remember watching a video interview with him from about the time the film came out, and apparently he did it because his kids were huge fans of the comic. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's one of those stories.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, that's cool and all, but like, holy crap! I guess
It,
his lines were utterly horrible too, though. So like, what are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
I like
What do
how he
you
laughed, like when he's like, "The world is my."
Yeah.
what do you do when the script asks you to deliver the line "When the world is mine, I'll personally fry your lard ass"?
yeah,
Hell yeah.
Lard ass.
I mean, there's a way you could be the shining star and all that, but yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So, real quick, what do you dislike about your design, Amir?
There's a lot I dislike about it. So there's a lot. This piece is really weird for me, right? Because on one hand, you got the Michael Jai White tooth gap with an ant sticking out, and you got bugs crawling out of his face, and I love it. And a lot went right for this piece. Um, but at the same time, there's I don't know. It's weird because I I wish that I spent more time in the design process and kind of second guessed myself a little bit because at the end of it, I deep down in my heart, I feel like I kind of redrew Spawn, and there isn't really anything that's like extra or me in it, even though this is like the most me that I ever thought about Spawn. I have this weird duality about it. And after watching the movie with Kanji today, I kind of wish I watched the movie before I drew the picture because after the movie, I had so many ideas of like having Spawn in the hobo coat with like a little bit of the cape peeking out of like the bottom of the hobo coat and
Hmm.
having like the inside of it be like really cool. And I think I could have just done a lot more about the character to make it different. But I mean, I set out to draw Spawn, what it truly meant to me to be like super traditional, and I got what I wanted. But I guess I'm just like I don't know, not really happy with what I totally wanted,
No,
if
no,
that makes sense.
no, that makes sense. Um, what I've noticed
Yeah.
with myself with past reiterations of characters are uh, if because there's been a couple where I didn't watch the movie first, and that was always a mistake. It was always a mistake because while I'm watching the movie, I get so many ideas on how things could work different. So that being said, like I encourage anybody that comes on the show in the future, whether you're watching right now or you're on the show right now, like make sure you watch the content first because it'll really feel it's food for the brain.
Hmm.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
my design. I even changed the sword on him from something else that I had to the sword that the dude was. What's his face? The medieval
Cagliostro.
guy. To what?
Cagliostro.
Yeah, Cagliostro.
Cagliostro.
Yeah, I changed my sword to look like the one that he was using.
Yeah, that's
No.
nice.
Oh, that,
I like the sword actually.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, good job, man. Excellent work.
Hell yeah.
Your best piece yet. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Thanks, man. I appreciate.
all right, uh let's move on. Let's check out yours, Ivans.
Mm,
You're just two. You're
fine.
more than one Ivan. You're Ivans. Let's check out yours, Ivan.
Evans. Which? Where's the other one?
Ivan one.
Okay, that's me. Let's share the screen.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you really took the imagination to the like with the
I, I
imagine.
it, it just Castlevania in my head. And I don't know I don't know what happened. Like when I started to paint it, it's like let's make it the fucking symphony of the night and fuck it. No, then I just wanted to mix designs. The influence I got from the animated series because that show is my favorite, and I try to incorporate what I didn't like in the movie.
No, that's cool. Yeah, you chose a different color scheme.
Y-
Um,
Yeah, I try to make it realistic, but it's I like vibrant colors, like contrast. I like to play with bright, like different mixes of violet, like green, like it's. I didn't want it to go like black and put rain and be done with it.
no, it's a bold design choice, but it also can work if especially like it's a bigger challenge if you want to make like vibrant colors scary. But I think that you kind of pulled it off. So right on, dude. Uh, what's your what like tell us more about like your design choices. Like say for instance like the shoulder pad or like the function of how this particular spawn works.
If you notice, I decided to extend the cape into the hand,
Oh, and it's like
like it's
gripping.
actually hugging
Oh, that's a good
onto
idea.
him.
That's a fucking
Yeah,
good
like
idea.
yeah, and basically like a cape is like separate, like CJ wanted. Like I did the same probably because like, who doesn't want to have a cape that can kill you at any moment? Like who?
mm.
I,
Yeah.
no, it's a bad idea.
No,
No,
that's I think that's my favorite idea yet today, actually. The hand with the like that's part of the cape, like some kind of entity. Like I said before, like kind of with CJ's design, like the cape kind of going off and like doing its own thing while Spawn's fighting. Like just kind of hammers that particular dynamic in just that much further with giving it kind of a more of an alive feeling to it. Really cool, dude. I wish I would have thought of that one.
Yeah,
hmm.
it's the basics of the design. Like it's like burned up flesh, right? And the rest is just like bones. Armor, like it's like very like organic kind of thing going on. And there's like a cape, which is like completely separate. Always like watching. the host.
What do you mean? Oh, like the cape is watching Al
Like
Simmons.
it's
Like,
in control, always like that. Yeah, and then it's like mm,
oh, so it has more of like
so that
a sway over his decisions as opposed to, more
yeah,
like say like Venom, uh, as opposed to just being having ultimate free will,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's cool, dude.
Well, he's eventually like learns how to control it. Obviously, like just like in the movie, but in the beginning, he's like in complete control over his actions.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the basic idea. But
Like that's like the like another constant struggle he deals with, like not being himself, but also like struggling with the cape making him do bad things. That's a cool dynamic for sure.
I really like that thing you've done with the shoulders with like the gems set into them.
yeah, actually, there's not they're not like exactly like James. They're more like big eyes on his
Yeah,
shoulders.
it gives
But
me like some Guyver vibes. Like the villains in Guyver would have these like things set into them, and you would never know if they were like gems
yes,
or eyeballs or something like that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
yeah.
more.
Just something else that allows him to like glow, like just some other part, like when his power like surges or something like, or maybe it doesn't Spawn have like souls attached to him, like he has souls like within him, like other souls like within the suit that made the suit, something like that.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
so
It
so
actually was my first idea to
so,
make a costume full of souls, like screaming mouse, like in
yeah, like maybe like you'll see like a hand or like a face or something like rolling in the shoulder, or like shit like that. That'd be sick.
yeah, that's very complex
Yeah, but I
thing to
mean,
pull off.
yeah, more it's art
And I had only
art
one
wise.
day, so yeah,
You did that in a day?
yeah, just I just finished it 10 hours, like 3 hours ago, and then I went to
Dang.
sleep.
Yeah, all of us, we just got limp.
Yeah.
It's
Look
nice
at
work,
that.
man. Really nice work.
Yo.
So what is your okay, uh you said your favorite thing about it, right? Oh, the hand. What's your which is also mine. That's really cool. What's your what do you wish you could have improved, or what's your least favorite thing about it? What do you not like about it?
Well, well, at least try to get rid of so much like a cartoony like color schemes, because it wasn't my initial intention, but since I like vibrant colors, it's like always keep popping out, obviously. uh,
Not
and the legs, and I'd like to, I mean the influence behind the legs and the armor was like, have you seen like the Last Nightmare, or what's the called, like it's about like Freddy Krueger, but it's in the real life. Like, he had like that armor, like bones and flesh underneath. Like, I didn't like the legs, that's for sure.
you
A
you
new
Because
nightmare.
you
That's what
wanted
it was.
you wanted to
that
do something.
thing,
Oh.
We got some action uh in the chat. Alicia says, I don't know why, but I'm seriously loving the hand shadow. Yeah, those kind of cut shadows are always nice to see in illustrations. It's like kind of showing off an understanding
Hmm.
of lighting and all that. Those are always sexy. Bastard Beast says the helmet looks like a Dark Eldar helmet. Didn't someone say that before? Something else with a Dark Eldar? Someone likes a lot of the 40K, I think. He also says the wrapped feet just feel off, like they should have had some kind of armor.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe actually, maybe.
Ugh,
Yeah,
it's I didn't
but
like. Uh, I forgot about them like
well,
completely. Just
well,
like
don't
fuck
feel
it.
don't feel down about it. Like it's no big deal. Like
Oh,
like
yeah,
is
no, 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 fine.
Yeah, like dude, this you killed it with this. Like you did it in a like within a day still, and you got that like you got it to there. Like that's still like that's dope as hell.
Yeah, nice work, man. It's a full illustration, and you busted it out. Great work.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I should finish it.
Yeah, you should.
Maybe.
You should. You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks nice. But good
Yeah,
job, man. Um,
thanks.
so you guys, anything else you guys want to say about the movie besides all the bad acting? Like, is
Read.
anything you absolutely loved about it?
I love
John
the
Leguizamo.
Satan guy, the CGI. I like the computer generated like wolf, whatever the low polygon thing, and just like close up on his mouth and like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
And
looked
he's
like.
like talking like that, and he talking like that not because he wants to, because it's so bad they couldn't like figure out how to animate him probably, and he talks like an idiot.
Yeah, like what is he gonna do? He's got a jaw like this, like
He's like.
with PlayStation One graphics. Like, what are you gonna do?
Oh man, that was like oh man that whole movie. Let's not also talk about like the millions of Spawn clones doing the same animations in the background
Oh, the
in hell.
Hellraiser.
Hey,
Late 90s nightclub.
someone's toggling the tile view. So if you can, don't click on that. So yeah. Anyway, anyway, go on. Sorry. Go. Wait, I stopped everything. Fuck. Jesus Christ. So okay. So aside from the poor animations,
Mhm.
like anything that you like, what was good about the movie? Oh, John Leguizamo. He was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he carried the whole thing. He carried the whole damn movie the whole way. Without him,
Yeah.
that movie was unwatchable.
But let's talk about John Leguizamo's stripes. He had to put up with being in a fat suit, heavy, sweating the whole time, squatting the whole time, horse
Yeah.
stance martial arts, like like he ate a pizza with maggots on it and then puked it up afterwards, and I would have loved to be on that set. I was telling Kanji,
Oh,
yo, I
I was wondering if he actually did that shit.
he
And the worms
actually
as
Yeah.
well, apparently.
worms.
I saw him making off when I was like in school, and there was like a part when they made like applied makeup on him, and like the big platform of like fat literally hanging off him. It's like
Yeah,
how can you possibly do that? It's like you're gonna die in there, like inside that thing.
yeah, dude. He like I would have given my left nut to just been there, seen him being like just throwing up all that maggots and pizza in full costume, just being like, I can't do this no more. I can't.
Yeah, but
You
that
see
also
that like
was that also
And
like
he,
one of his break-in movies though. At the same time, like he was pretty young when all that happened. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah, the breaking movies was the Mario Brothers.
okay, so
Oh, jeez.
this was obviously his next step of like trying to stay in the movie industry. So, I'd probably eat some maggots too. You know, you gotta do what you gotta
And
do.
it actually looked tasty.
Oh,
So yeah,
he made it look delicious. Like,
yeah, I liked it.
he ate it all in one bite.
oh
He
God,
stuffed it all in his mouth. He
oh yeah,
carried that flick.
yeah.
Neil and
man,
I
no,
came to the
John
conclusion that
that guy like in that movie, he had to have like realized I'm gonna be in this tiny ass fat suit squatting and I gotta eat maggots, so I gotta put on one hell of a fucking show for everybody.
And worms.
Otherwise, yeah, and worms dipped in mayonnaise.
Oh
Yeah,
Like
God, it just
Yeah.
makes me want to
Jeez.
vomit. Jesus Christ.
he did.
Amir and I came to the conclusion that this being in this film was his karmic punishment for the pest.
Dinky, dinky, ah,
I
ah, ah.
I haven't seen the pest.
uh,
I imagine from the reaction of you guys, it was really bad, right?
It was great.
It was great in a bad way.
It's
It
Yeah.
was amazing in a great way. You guys
James,
all
you'd
hated it.
hate it. No,
Okay.
I love it, but James, you'd hate it. You wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I'm like a cynical asshole with like entertainment or movies, like everything. Just I just pick everything apart. But that's why we have this
Mhm.
show, so we can redesign
Yeah.
everything. So we're good.
Yeah.
But so what about dislike, guys? What did you uh aside from the acting, is there anything that was like just tearing at your soul?
Plot.
The plot
Like,
was his story arc. In defense, that was his story arc.
yeah, there's a few like convoluted missing things that were like kind of like the devil guy needs to have this guy make this bioweapon, but then they need to create Spawn to kill him, so Spawn can lead the army and set the bomb off at the same time. When it's just like, why did they just have this guy? Why didn't they just make him make the thing and then kill him anyways?
I'm watching a
But
meme stream.
Amir doesn't agree. He's shaking his head like a
No,
motherfucker.
you guys keep going. I'm gonna Brady Bunch this shit.
no, you're fine. No, no, dude, no. As someone who absolutely loves this fucking movie, like I adore this movie, but like every time I like read the plot, I'm just like, why didn't you just kill him then? Like, just kill him then, or what? Why?
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, like the characters were all very two-dimensional. There wasn't like with the exception of Spawn, everybody else is like either good guy or bad guy, and that makes it a very boring plot because that's not how people are. They're not.
oh, I have one thing. The biggest thing that like irritated me out of this entire fucking movie is the fake killing of Wanda to show the Violator.
Are you... Go on.
Okay, okay. So at the very end, we're led to believe that Wanda gets killed, and then it turns out to be the Violator the whole time. And then he just surprisingly, oh hey, she was actually not dead, and it tied to this chair in this fire pit for this entire fucking time. It was like a what? It just
Yeah.
it made no sense to me. Like why not just kill her?
But
Just kill
Teresa
her.
Randall got to have some fun with that scene at least.
Yo, you
Just
mean
try
to
to be
tell
so
me
much at the same time. Try to be
you mean
everything.
fair?
I've got one thing. I mean, I appreciate that for the time, the CGI effects for the cape were probably like amazing and a nightmare to execute, but the fact that it just disappears. Like, you have a Spawn movie where he doesn't have a cape for most of the film.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll take that one. That one's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. I mean, couldn't they have like actually no? They couldn't make it. That's his most like that's what he's known for really. So you take away the cape, you don't really have Spawn. You have like evil Spider-Man. So
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's called Venom.
yeah. Well, yeah, Venom. Yeah, without the cape, that's Venom. Spawn is Venom. He looks
Who's
like Venom.
Carnage then? Who's Carnage then?
That's Venom too. And
Yeah, does Venom have a
Um,
tooth gap?
it's
I don't think so.
it's
Spawn's legit.
Carnage is like after Venom's wrapped in Spawn's cape.
Carnage is evil Venom.
Yeah.
I guess
Evil
so.
Well, they're
Well,
both evil. But
uh,
let's move on. Let's move on to the next Kanji. You're up, brother.
oh, okay. Oh
Expose
boy,
yourself.
I
I
just
didn't
want to say
really
y'all
keep
ain't good for my blood pressure.
didn't really keep much in the way of process for this, unfortunately.
Well,
But
that's
I
all
did
right.
kind of talk through the ideas. So there we go.
Ooh, that's fun. Oh, that's cool. I like what you're doing with the line art and
Ah, thank you.
the face like the way it's like scrunched but not at the same time. That's a cool design choices with that.
Yeah, I guess I can talk through some of the the design choices on this. So I did some really bad pencil drawings just to get ideas out to start off with. I'm not going to show those off. But I started realizing that if I was going to get something out of this, I had to kind of nail down an idea for the head first. So just drag this in here. I just quickly sketched up some ideas for the head, and this was the one that ended up winning out. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized this is kind of too high tech looking. It doesn't make much sense for somebody who's supposed to be, supposed to be this kind of gristly organic thing from hell. And started thinking about other directions I could take it in. There was an idea that I had for a few minutes about maybe turning him into a retro Japanese tokusatsu hero, like a Kamen Rider type character. And then I ended up jettisoning that, but keeping a couple of ideas I had from it. One of which was based on something I remember seeing from an old Kamen Rider movie, where uh, the the body of the character was kind of organic, kind of like insect carapace. So I just ended up rolling with that, I guess. I wanted to make it look like he had a kind of hard shell over fleshy innards, and try to kind of get that ridged look to everything.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
And the thing that kind of stayed from the Carmen Rider idea was turning the cape into a big scarf,
Turning the cape into what?
into like a big scarf. That was always a thing with the Carmen Rider characters. The hero always had like a scarf, so
A staff? Oh, okay.
scarf.
S-
Scarf.
oh, scarf. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I have an American accent.
yeah, sorry. But yeah, other than that, just some influences from the comics, I guess, and the film, like the way he would just go and find weapons and guns and things and hoard them. So I decided it would make a nice contrast to all the organic stuff to have some, military style webbing and an assault rifle and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. Yeah, it's it's cool to see like a totally different, like more techie type take on him. Because yeah, in the movie he was using guns, and also in the comics he reverts to guns too, so he doesn't use his power and have to go back to hell, at least for a
Yeah,
long
that's
time,
right.
right? So that makes sense. What's the now that his cape is more of like a scarf? Like, what's the utility? Is it alive still? Is it, or is it just like an adornment? Like, what is it now?
Yeah, I figure it would still be alive. Originally, I wanted, if I had more time, I'd have probably extended it out and made it into a very long scarf, like that old platform game character. Was it Strider Hiryu? He had that really long ninja scarf. I'd have probably done something like that, I think, but I just ran out of time, so I had to just render out what I had.
Um, Inner City Pigeon says is he single-handedly wielding a Taver 5.56?
Yes, that's correct. I went and looked at some different assault rifles, and I decided the Israeli Tavor was probably like the most futuristic looking one I could find to stick in his hand.
Yeah, good catch, Inner City. Good catch.
Yeah, I like Inner City Pigeon.
Yes.
Also, I do want to say, zooming in, like the this piece is like really, really good. Like you really outdid yourself. Just saying.
I actually hate the
Like
rendering on this.
I love the rendering on this. When you view it like the full picture at once, it looks okay, and then you just zoomed in right now, and I was like, "What the hell? This looks great. You're really good, man."
Well, I mean, I guess I should give people here some context. I've had some pretty messed up health problems recently, and then prior to that, most of the work I was doing was storyboarding, so I haven't actually painted anything or rendered in about 2 or 3 years at this point.
Oh, so this probably felt pretty good to do.
This is an absolute nightmare. Like, after I started, I was like, why didn't I just clean up the line artwork and throw some flat colors under this? This would have been so much better.
I think you probably could have, like that probably would have worked too. Like the drawing's pretty solid, so like either way, it still looks nice like this, dude. Really nice work.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
Anything? Okay, what's your favorite part about it?
I think my favorite part is probably like the head design and just how that kind of like the mix of like hard and soft organic parts for the body ended up turning out. I think that actually kind of that was like my best idea. I think.
Yeah, someone in the chat mentioned as a Guyver-ish. So yeah, I could see that a little bit, tiny bit, maybe like in the
Yeah,
stomach area.
if people want to see the most direct inspiration for this, they're close when they say Guyver, but it's actually a very weird spin-off of the Japanese Kamen Rider series called Shin Kamen Rider, which they only did like one movie for, and it was a huge failure in Japan. But the idea with that was to move away from the kind of clean, heroic image of the franchise, and they had this like horrifying biopunk body horror version of Kamen Rider, who was like this half man, half insect thing. To save yourself watching the full film, because it's actually not very good, I would say just go and look up the transformations on YouTube from that film. That was where most of the influence for this came from.
And what's that film called? One more time, please.
It's called Shin Kamen Rider, Shin. It just means it
Shin
just means
Kamen Rider.
yeah, it just means new Kamen Rider in Japanese.
Okay. All right.
Carmen Rider in American.
Okay. American. Well, and what is your least favorite part?
Least favorite, I would say probably the rendering on all of his webbing. It made me realize that I really, really suck at fabric and need to work on that quite a bit.
Okay. I, yeah, I suppose it looks a little bit stiff, but it kind of works with the aesthetic too. Kind of works with like what style you've kind of chosen. It looks very, I don't know. Like there's an aesthetic to it that's appealing. Like the stiffness is appealing.
Oh, thank you.
So
Actually, the other thing as well is that I ran out of time to render out the smoke clouds and just ended up having to put some motion blur on them. I wish I could have, taken a few extra hours to make those look nice and graphic. Maybe that would have been nice.
yeah, I like the stylization of the smoke. I think you could probably, if we're, you could even take it a little bit more further and maybe have the like the Japanese style like smoke, like even more.
Hmm.
That's what I was originally going to do,
No, I,
render it out to look like that, and then I just ran out of time, unfortunately.
well, that's what it looks like. So like if you push that fact a little bit, just a like a tad more, it's cool as it is. But if you wanted to take it further, then yeah, maybe play with that.
Yeah, I love those like tiny little intricate details that are like in that like the creases of the armor and stuff where you can see like the meat kind of poking through.
Oh,
Like
thanks.
that's like super cool, dude.
Yeah, that was like the most important thing to me that kind of came across. That it's like kind of hard, kind of insectile material over meat. So yeah. That was one of a design idea I was kind of happy with on this. Like you can see it on the like the closer gauntlet that the spikes retract on this version. Like they don't always have to be there; they can just retract into his body for when it's not practical to be covered in spikes.
That's pretty cool. I could almost see like he shoots him out or something, kind of like a just like just like walks through and just like projectile spikes just like impale people and shit like that.
Yeah, they like grow back. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm. Well, right on, man. Good, definitely good work. Nice flow, cool design. Like I think you got something going with the your like your style mix you got going on. Yeah,
Oh, great! Thank
good
you. That
work.
really means a lot.
Yeah, I love that nubby hand, like his
Yeah,
gauntlet. It's gonna
Hmm.
straight line. That's so sick.
Yeah, it's super unique looking. That I'd say the gauntlet and like his scrunchy face are like probably my favorite parts of the design.
Mhm.
So all right, let's check out Star King. You're up, dog.
Hey.
There you are, you quiet man, you.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so for my Hellspawn, I thought I wanted him to be a little wilder, maybe a little bit more primal. And then I thought about what if it was like a shaman or a witch doctor that became a Hellspawn. So let me share my screen here. All right, see my screen?
I see an ocean and an island,
Oh,
and
uh,
I
It's where
see.
I live.
Oh, nice, dude. On that little spot on
oh
the
jeez.
bottom.
No, on the bottom of the ocean.
Jeez, that's annoying.
Man, Russia looks way different.
So if you have multiple
There we go.
screens, just let's see here.
All right.
Here, I see you. So if you have multiple screens, you go and you got to choose the option at the bottom left.
All right.
So share your screen. You
So I
can
click
scroll
same.
through the correct one.
All right, let's see here. Entire screen. All right.
Well, yeah, I see Photoshop. I see Photoshop. If it's just it's minimized
That's really
window.
small.
Yeah, so
Oh,
just maximize your Photoshop window and we're good.
is it not
But
maximized?
Or no, you're looking. All I see is Kanji screen.
Oh,
I see a small version of Kanji screen, and then the background of. So if
huh.
are you working on multiple screens?
No, I just have my one monitor here.
Okay, well
Uh,
I'll buy you some time, so you could figure out how
yeah.
to. I will share.
Commercial break.
We got a commercial break. We are going to share a design from William Calcanis Ellis. He did some design work for the show. He did some design work for the show, but he wasn't able to come in because he's got work. You know, it is Monday, so kind of makes sense, right? So I will
Yeah.
share his design. He didn't really have a lot to say about it, but we can discuss that when we all look at it. So here we go.
Ooh,
ooh,
ooh.
So it looks like there we go. It it looks like he took more of like some of the hellish aspects of the character. Like check out the chains right here. They're kind of going into his hip bones as opposed to like coming out of like something and you got this I don't know, kind of looks more, and he doesn't have like a typical like hero shape. He's got like some you know
It looks like a good cosplay, like a very realistic approach.
yeah.
yeah, I like those chains because it kind of gives it like kind of a Hellraiser vibe.
Yeah, there's something kind of like gross about that in the best possible way. Like they're rooted into him somehow.
Yeah, he definitely has some like hellish aspects, like for sure. Like that's in retrospect for me, that's kind of what I wanted to put more into my design, some more hell. But I don't know, my brain went where it wanted to go at the time. So, but yeah, for this design, I really like the how helly it is. And so here, hold on, we're doing. Someone's clicking on toggle tile view. Try not to do that. Don't do that. It's in the bottom left screen if you wanna. Only I get to click on that, you guys. Only me. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. If you look at the face here, he's actually looks like he's kind of part of the suit. Like his teeth right here, kind of scully. Yeah. So
I like that. Like it also like those little like face tattoo things look like it's kind of folding over his nose a little
Hmm.
bit.
I
So
like
it's almost like his like flesh is peeling off or something.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, I could see that.
I like what's going on with the torso. Like the kind of M shape actually looks more like a skull or something like that.
Right here.
Almost like
Oh
an
yeah, like the
animal
nose
skull.
right
Yeah.
here, and like the yeah, yeah, for sure. Is is there a so what's your guys' favorite part? Well, I suppose we talked about those things. What thing do you not like about it?
Get them, rip them apart.
Well, it's a simple design. That's for sure. It's like it doesn't look like a spawn. Like I mean, like I imagine spawn like more like a king of the battle. You know, like he has a sword. Sometimes he has like a big cape, like and big spikes and everywhere. It's like and this is like more like a minion. You know, like one of those small minions in the
Oh,
movie.
maybe like a lesser
They
spawn.
look like yeah, lesser spawn, but it's simple but effective. But I'm not saying it's not working, but I wanted to see more of different
He,
ideas
oh, I could see that.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a naked guy walking around. Not in any bad shape of the form or anything like that. He's just kind of there. I feel like there could be a little more there. Like I would love to see more of those chains, like digging into him on like all different parts of him.
Or even coming out like not not symmetrically through him. Like you got like one coming out of his chest. That man, that was my idea
Ooh.
I had that idea and I fucking dropped it for mine. I wanted to add more chains like coming out of his like just like he's from hell, like tortured kind of thing. But
Hmm.
oh well, if we hit spawn again in Monstieur 287, well,
I wish he had wish he had a tiny baby in his hands, holding like ready to devour.
that's funny. Um,
I
Amir,
oh,
go.
although I really really like the rendering in this, this guy did a really good job. I think in a place that he can improve would be adding thickness to parts of the cape to make it just look a little bit beefier. And I think that the symbol on his belly, where it makes that bowed out shape,
Hmm.
I think it seems a little bit, I don't know, makes him look kind of pudgy.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, maybe I don't know. Like, yeah, that doesn't. I suppose that doesn't quite work. If he was like, I could see his pudginess. He's kind of pear-shaped, but
I was
over.
about to say, yeah, he could stand to have like a bit of a stronger upper body, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, more a little bit more superhero-y, but not that's not utterly necessary. Like he could have like a normal type body. I think it just maybe slim the waist up a little bit and the legs
Yeah,
so he
You
doesn't
know,
look
be kind of. Oh, sorry.
go.
He's thick.
I was
That's
gonna say, you know, what would be really cool is those how he's kind of got the cape almost stripped out, as if he kind of like really accentuated that, like to where the is like individual like strands and stuff, and he could probably like use the cape to kind of like fly around or like crawl around on stuff.
Uh, who keeps clicking the toggle view? I'm gonna get you. But yeah, so that's uh that's William Calcanis Ellis's, and he did a good pretty. I dig it. He did good work.
Very, very cool.
we all
Yeah,
love it. Will
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good
it's
job,
really
really
man.
rough.
good.
Hope you're having a good day
The
at work.
rendering is really dope.
Yeah, dope
it
rendering.
just needs one giant boot. That's the only thing it's missing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe. Yeah, that might have taken it like that much further for sure. I could see that. But
I'm kind of joking. I always thought that was a
this is
weird
how
design
the
decision when like
reboot
that's a
gonna look
giant
like.
boot in the comics.
so
Yeah,
um
just big parking boot.
Star King, I see stuff on your screen. I see Jitsi, I see all that stuff. It looks like you have like a few windows open on your screen. So
Yeah, I think I got it
did you
now. I
did you do
think.
it? Let's do it. Let's expose
Alright,
yourself.
Mm,
I see.
Let's
so
into
There.
yeah. Okay.
can you
Okay.
see that? Can you see
Take.
that?
Yep. Take us on the tour.
All right. So, like I said, I thought about what a witch doctor or a shaman or something like that would look if they became the Hellspawn. And I sort of wanted it, like I said, more of a savage, primal feel to him. And then I moved on a little bit and sort of uh, did more iterative designs with the same sort of idea. Uh, and I changed his cape to like, loincloth instead of chains. Maybe they'd be like ropes, things like that.
Uh-huh.
And then,
Would you mind making
so,
that window a little bit bigger?
oh, sure.
It's super tiny right now.
Sorry about that.
No worries. There we go. Let's
Better?
see.
Can you see that?
Yeah, much better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Maybe this one's bigger too. Oh, too close. There you go. All right. All right. And then so took these designs and I basically went with this guy here in my time. And then I did this illustration with him for him.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
that's sick, dude.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah,
So I
those hands, dude.
so basically I kind of went with like I said, I wanted to be kind of savage, kind of primal, kind of witch doctory kind of feel to him. And I sort of wanted it to seem like the was it necroplasm? Necro goo was sort of like, I don't know, like right at the surface. Like this dude's like just got too much, of it.
Hmm.
um, uh, and I wanted it to be like, his natural environment for this guy would be like in the jungle or something, somewhere like that.
Dude, yeah, excellent job on the rendering, dude. Looks like you it looks like a 3D mock-up, but that's all paint, huh?
Yeah, I that is a process that I do use sometimes, but this one I didn't have enough time for all that
Man.
Like
fanciness.
even with the skulls and stuff underneath him?
Yeah, these skulls down here, it's a little thing I do. So I painted one or maybe three of them, and then I sort of rotated them around. Uh, and then I'll take like a soft texture that I've made or painted or something like that, and then I throw it on top of it. And it kind of gives it more of a gritty, more realistic bend. Do that
Yeah,
a lot. But
yeah, dude. Yeah, I dig the aesthetic. Yeah, I can't even talk. I dig the look of your paintings. That's like you have that gritty goodness throughout like all of them. So yeah,
thanks.
really. I really like the hands and the shoulders that are like kind of uh, you know pulsing with power. It's a real nice touch. Really cool,
Thanks.
dude.
Thanks.
Excellent job rendering.
Yeah, that is really fantastic.
Thank you.
So what is your favorite part about it?
Mm. Um, I like I mean, my favorite part of this one, I think, would be like the shoulders, maybe up. I'm a big fan, like, I guess in a lot of my illustrations, a lot of my characters and creatures have some kind of headdress because I feel like you can't really be fierce without, headdress. So for me, for this one, I feel like I really like the shoulders up. It's my favorite part of him.
Hmm.
Um, I think that if I had more time, I probably would have changed. Because like I said, my favorite part of Spawn really is that flowing cape, his flowing, the drama with the cape. And I think with this pose, I sort of didn't give enough life to his loincloth thing that I made instead of his cape. And I think I would have done a little bit more with that.
Yeah, I could see that. Like if he was like standing like over someone or something, and like the cape was
Hmm.
like kind of like wrapping him like some guy like slowly as he's like looking at the camera, like with a
Hmm.
scared face or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Now what is someone chat's going off. Please tell me this dude is venomous in some way. Oh, yeah, he looks kind of venomous, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of or what's your least favorite part? Like, or that is your least favorite part? Just that you just wanted. Am I repeating myself?
Yeah.
I am repeating myself. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, dude, fucking bitchin' job. Real, real, real nice job.
Thanks. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Anybody else want to comment?
Yeah, dude, like that his right arm is cool as hell. Like
Yeah.
that, like the lighting on that thing. It's just like
Oh,
it looks like a giant like I could see like all those veins in that guy's arm. It's like really cool.
Yeah, some really
thanks.
beautiful rendering and texture on that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Super juicy, dude. You spent some time on this baby. But
Appreciate that.
but yeah,
I
fantastic.
I, I usually because I've always been what really drew me into this stuff is obviously like cinema. So I always go for that kind of look. I want things to be sort of cinematic. So
Yeah, I could see that with the you got the kind of the overexposure thing that what's his name does. Who's that guy? Uh,
J.J. Abrams.
no, no. He's an artist. He does the flashlight look like on a
Ola
large space.
oh,
Chubak.
Chuvabach. Yeah. So
mm,
Sure, but
yes,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah,
Someone put Chuvabach in the chat, and you'll see like it's a really cool look, and it adds like a horrific atmosphere. Yeah, yours doesn't quite look like his, of course, but
mhm.
like the overexposure with with like the foreground elements and all that kind of stuff, and the blurring, it looks you really achieved that cinematic look, dude. Looks bitchin'.
Awesome. Thanks.
but uh, but yeah, any
I love how it like also looks like we just stumbled upon this guy like in a hole somewhere,
Yeah.
and now you're like, oh shit, I'm about to die.
You've seen my skulls. You must die.
my get away from my fucking skull collection.
That's awesome. That's exactly what I was, going for. I wanted it to be like you just sort of came across this thing. You're like, what the hell is that?
So what's but curious, what's the story behind uh like the skulls? Like is he what's happening in this because this is an illustration. It's not just a concept piece. What's
Right.
happening?
Like so I kept thinking of him like as this, like I said, like this witch doctor or this sort of head shrinker kind of person. So I thought of him as this like he collects these skulls of because I think it was like he gets necroplasm or recharges his necroplasm when he kills um, evil people or something like that. So I thought of all these victims, and that's why he's so over, you know, necroplasmed.
Hmm.
uh, and so that's what I thought about this character.
Okay. No, I
So
dig it.
I wanted him to look like he had a lot of victims, and he's sort of this like I said a primal feel to where he like this endless hunger, uh, and that's sort of the idea that I had with the skulls.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Looks good. Good job.
So thanks.
Let's all right. Let's let's next. All right, let's see. Here, we'll do it's me. I'm next. That's mine. Didn't have time, so I had William do mine.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
not
here's mine.
Yeah.
So here we go. So for mine, I try to change some of the I don't know. I try to make his cape more like kind of like guts, like hellish guts,
Mm.
as opposed to just you know just like fabric or whatever, and try to give him a little bit different look with like maybe like he's like Star King has. He's got the he's he's got the he's like crackling with power, like he's like trying to hold it in. Like these chains and stuff are like they when he like opens up, parts of him opens up like in the leg right here, like his chains start pouring out, or here, or like his arm, just kind of like random spots of his body as opposed to being so symmetrical. My initial idea, I wanted to have like, I don't know, maybe be a little bit more drapey, something different with the center, but for whatever reason, I forgot to tell myself to do these things and ended up doing this way. So, like his like chest piece is kind of like a mess of bones and like more glowy, whatnot, like glowing power. And his face, I decided not to go with the little white designs that he has on his face like Spider-Man, and kind of just change how the shape of the eyes themselves, kind of make it more like I don't know, what is this like, I don't know what is that, whatever the fuck I did there, try to make them like that.
Arachnid.
Arachnid, there you go. Yeah, spiders are
Okay.
creepy, right? We're going for
Yeah.
creepy. So, and then of course I added a little hood because it's cute.
Cool.
And uh yeah, yeah. Any questions? Any questions?
S-
I think it's really awesome. I like that yours isn't like a super jacked kind of look. He's kind of like, you know, gaunt. I think that's really creepy. I think that's a really cool look.
Hmm. Yeah, it gives me that like I really like those like arachnid eyes that you gave him, because like that shape like translates really well throughout the body. Like he's kind of that, like you said, that overflowing with power. So he's like kind of, it's like he like the body himself is like not able to hold all the power that he's using. So like it's kind of just like peeking out just a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I imagine it kind of like moving and crackling, like as he's depending on his mood and whatnot, like whether he has control of himself or not. Kind of hulky, if
Hmm.
you will. Like if Hulk gets mad, like he starts getting a little bit more crazy. Like maybe that's the you know yeah. Raging Rajang asked me what my favorite thing is about it. Thanks for asking my question. I should, because someone's got to ask it. My favorite thing about it, mm, I don't know. Probably the face. I like the face the best. It's kind of like arachnid or whatever, and like a little mesh of I don't know, just kind of unique to whatever Spawn look. Like I imagine that looking pretty scary if his hood was off. So
Yeah, I really love that thing with like the insectile compound eyes. That's a fantastic design idea.
oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Uh, and then my least favorite thing, mm, probably like maybe the bones in the chest, or the fact that I I should have turned up some of the hellish aspects of him, but it became hard because his design is so much cape, so like if I just added that
Hmm.
much more noise, uh uh it would be an issue. Like it would just look like a blob. So I ended up toning back the chains and just kind of staying with the like the gutsy type flowy cape deal. So
Hey, James, can you do me a favor and zoom in on the chest, please?
sure.
Oh, see, it looks like he's kind of gone, right? Because the cape is coming down from like the clavicles, but he's actually buff.
Yeah, he's jacked. He's jacked.
Yeah, he's jacked. He's got big lats.
Like you see his lats right here. He's still jacked.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, he's hella buff.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
that's really
see
dope.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah, no, because I thought the same thing when I first looked at it. It's like, oh, cool. He's like teen spawn, like ready to mess people up. But no, yeah, he's got lats.
Teen Spawn.
Yeah, it almost does look like that. The silhouette because of the cape in front of him.
Yeah. Okay.
I also like the chains. Are those kind of like almost like bone fragment chains? Because that's kind of what that almost feels like.
Uh, I was I was thinking more like barbed wirey type chains.
Yeah, yeah. No, I dig that. I dig that a lot better because it's like kind of I don't know. It's more it's different and it's kind of away from the typical like chain look, which I mean isn't bad, but like the I like that like barbed wire because it feels like those chains would like in the movie when he has the chains wrapped around the Violetter's head and he just like spins them and like cuts his head off. Like I think that would be so much cooler like with chains like this and like make so like to have like these chains just become like buzz saws as he's like throwing them around and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. Like doing that ever so famous like chain grind when the chains like rip people's heads off and stuff, where they kind of going in opposite directions as they're wrapped around something. I could see something like that
Yeah.
happen more. But but yeah, in retrospect, I wish I would have gone a little more Hellraiser-y, like because he's from Hell. But it's so hard at the same
Mm-hmm.
time because like you start going that direction and it's not Spawn anymore. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there are so many design elements. It's a juggling act, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But next go, I'll do I'm gonna do a Hellraiser one, like a more like dude, this guy's from fucking hell, like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that type of shit.
James, did you ever have you ever seen any of the designs from Destiny's The Hive?
Mm-mm.
Like one of the they have some elements that I think you would really like that kind of reminisce some parts of this guy that you got right here. Because they got that like kind of bone protrusion with like the glowy green like spots all over their bodies and stuff like that.
These
But if you
guys?
ever get a chance, yeah, yeah, those guys.
Okay, I could see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
there's some of them that get a little wild. I think, yeah, like some of those like little design elements in there. I think that'd be really cool with the those wizards. How he's got kind of like that flowy cape thing. I think that'd be really cool, like to see what your guy would look like as like this like jump in the air, kind of float around with all these like cape organ things, and then just like lobs like green fireballs at people.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, those are some good designs. Yeah, that'd be sick. Well, in Monster 287, we're gonna fucking do that when we revisit Spawn. But
Count me in for that one. I love Spawn.
yeah,
Same.
so that's my design. And so the chat's been going off a little bit. Raging Rajang says I like the hooded cape the most. Thanks, man.
Hmm.
And Inner City Pigeon says you said something about it's like a deep sea jellyfish man of war suspended above sea with a human trapped inside controlling it. Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah, totally. I could see that.
Yeah, I wanted to say
Hell,
that that's like the cape. I don't know if it was like intentional on your part, but it almost reminds me of like squid tentacles in places, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I didn't like take a reference from Squid necessarily, but like I wanted to look more gooey, like like it's alive, I guess, as opposed
Yeah,
to
it
like
looks
some
like
fabric
something
that
that
moves
would.
around cool.
It looks like something that would move with purpose, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
I like that. It's like Hell's umbilical cord, is what Inner City Pigeon said.
That's funny. I like it. You got some good ones, Inner City Pigeon. Um, let's see. Yeah. Oh, snap. Oh, wow. Wow, I that was crazy. Okay, the show
But
snapped
kick
out for
backs.
well, it kicked me out for a second.
Yeah, it kicked me out for a second too, just
E-
like a minute ago.
Everybody just hit refresh, and I think there's two of me now. That's okay. Oh, and now we know we can have 9 people on the show. That's also good to know. Um, so guess that that should be all everybody's stuff. So if you guys want to, okay, next up, I'm looking at Monster Mash right now. It's a group. Uh, uh, on Facebook. If you look it up, Monstieur Mash, there's a link in the comments or there's a link below in the video description. Uh, you'll see there's Monster Mash, and there's also a Discord channel uh, with a link to invite to the Discord that we got going on. Also, let's see. I keep on saying also, but the tally's up for the next Monstier, which is we're doing Skeletor from He-Man. So that should be fun. I've been wanting to do Skeletor
Yeah.
for a while. Um,
I'm up for that.
should be. Yeah, you're in. I like it.
Yeah, I'm in for
Okay.
that.
Oh, I'm definitely in for that one too.
Okay. We got 2 in already. All right. Ivan's falling asleep. Wake the fuck up, Ivan. It's 4 a.m. But so the next show will be on. When will the next show be? Uh, it will be on the 18th. So if you guys wanna wanna be a part of the show, that's when it happens. If you're watching and you just want to watch the show, that's when it happens. And yeah, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for everybody for like watching, and thanks for everybody for contributing to the show, and amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. See
Amen.
you in hell.
All right. See you in hell, guys. See you guys.
Fuck you.